It just became a work of art, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to show them a door panel real quick?
Yeah, a sneak peek at an interior thing. The whole idea of the car is that it's the Batmobile.
So what is the question?
We need another one.
Why, you broke two?
Yep. So we've got 5 days left, and that sounds like a lot, but it's not. There's about 20 things on the list, including some brake stuff. We've got all sorts of pieces to fit, a few touch-up things to do. The biggest problem is the car still won't go around the block under its own power and shift. As long as you're good with a second gear only car, the car is in beautiful shape, but for me, that's not good enough, and we're gonna be working on a lot of things while we try and resolve the transmission issue. Colin, what are you working on right now?
Right this second, I'm gonna try to test our bump up and bump down for the paddle shifters, since we're having issues trying to get it to shift.
So what is it doing right and what is it not doing?
I wouldn't say it's doing anything right. It's staying in second gear, and then if you try to use the paddle shifters, it won't shift up or down. Everything lights up, and we don't have any error codes, but we've obviously got an issue, probably wiring-wise.
So everything checks out good, it just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work.
Isn't that awesome when you have no problem and yet it's a complete problem?
Yeah, it's not the best problem to have with not a lot of time left either.
Okay, let's get on it. Quit talking to me. Colin is living on the phone with tech support and waiting for calls back, and in the meantime, we've got to get this top fitted. I have it all. I'm holding it up. Well, come on under here and see what's going on underneath. All right, are we ready to go? We're going to set it down gently. Hunter, come join us, grab the tail end. Line it up back there. Does that just change the entire personality of everything? I mean, it's no longer a car. It just became a work of art, right?
Yeah.
So now you can get an idea of the final aspect of it, right? You guys are gawking, you're supposed to be working. So now we can start fitting the window. So at this point, I think this ceased to be a car and just really started becoming a work of art. And of course, it'll only get better as we add the final details and parts.
We're going to cycle the power unit and see if the fluid in the hydraulic reservoir, that's this one. This is the front brakes, and that's the hydraulic reservoir. If that fluid turns milky, we know that it's drawing air from somewhere.
All right, let's do it.
We'll have to find where the air's at.
All right, so at this point, we've got some rags on it. Notice the taillights have been updated. What did we have on there before?
The red and the reverse lights.
And what did you think of that look?
I think we could have shaded it, but I like it better with
So
all
you would have
red.
wanted what, one red and one black, or what?
Yeah, I would have tinted them.
Okay, do you think they work well when they're tinted? Remember,
I mean,
this
if
is
it's done right,
this is 1960s technology.
Right, if it's done right, it's,
You think so?
it's pretty.
Okay, well, we'll just agree to disagree on that one. All right, so what do you think of the fact that it now has just the red and the black?
I like it.
So you do like it?
I love everything being blacked out.
Okay. During the fitting of a top, it'll go on and come off easily 10 or 15 times to get it all dialed in so that at the end it works the way it's supposed to. We're gonna grab the top and we're gonna do our test fit. So it is Monday, and basically we have to call the ball on Friday. So we are at 5 days and we just discovered a big problem. Explain the problem with the transmission.
So the problem was the transmission was staying in second gear, and it would not shift. You couldn't use the paddle shifters. It had park, reverse, neutral, and drive. That was about it. So we found out that we have an early style 4L60, which requires a different harness than the one that we have right now, which is for a later style 4L60.
So long story short, we had a car that although it would go down the road in second gear, that's really about the only thing it was good for. And unfortunately, this car really wants reverse and 4 forward gears, right? It wants the overdrive. So that was a non-starter. Now, while I catch my breath, and it's not because of lifting the top, it's because when you see that, if that isn't one of the most beautiful things ever created on Earth, I don't know what is. So we got a few problems we're dealing with. Chris, just for fun, after taking care of all the brake issues, dealing with fittings, lines, distribution blocks, it turns out we've got a master cylinder issue. It is sucking air in and then overpressurizing and blowing it out the top. So now we've got to deal with that too. What is going on right now? What are you dealing with?
Brake issues, got brake problems. The hydraulic power unit is aerating the brake fluid in the pressure cylinder that actually creates the pressure that gives the driver the real easy pedal. And what happens is when it cycles a bunch of times, it draws more air, creating more pressure, and eventually it pressurizes the master, and then it barfs out of the air bleed hole that it's supposed to be drawing air in, and it's actually going out.
So we have an extra one in stock, right?
We have another power unit.
And how long do you think it's going to take you to swap out that brake power unit?
Well, I want to verify that's the case first, and then, let's verify it first. So,
Okay. So Chris is going to do that. We got our side exhaust covers done. They look amazing. So they were powder coated locally. All right. So some cool parts are coming in. Take a look, and you'll notice we've got our side exhaust off. We've got our side covers off, and we've got the exhaust covers off. So we've got 3 parts to go on, but I want to show you how sexy this is. It actually looks really good. This is the collection of parts that still has to go in the car, and this is my single favorite of all of those parts. It's a completely rebuilt gas filler door. This was a gift for the car from Doug over at East Coast Powder Coating, and I gotta tell you, the guy's a one-man army. He turns work fast, he does a great job. If you need any work, give Doug at East Coast Powder Coating a call, he'll set you up. We're gonna go look at the exhaust system, we need to bring those back. So Colin, what are you working on now, the taillight wiring? So what happened with the taillight wiring? So right now, if you turn the key on and hit the brakes, let me see what happens. Go ahead.
The other side's not wired in.
Okay, so this side is wired in. So what happens if he hits the turn signals? What'll happen right now?
It'll work.
Oh, so what is it not doing? When he wired them together, there was a pin. So the pin on the wiring harness wasn't holding onto the spade terminal strongly enough, and it had just enough looseness in it that the lights weren't working. And so he's going in and basically soldering up and fixing up the terminals and the spade terminals and everything to make it work better.
Do you want to show them a door panel real quick?
Yeah, a sneak peek at an interior thing. It's actually hard to describe just how amazing this feels. This is genuine deer skin, and then this is leather, and of course they're all color matched and a little bit of piping. But take a look at this setup. It's just beautiful. So the interior. We have probably 80% of it installed so far, and the seats are still covered. So at some point we'll give you a grand tour of the entire interior, but we're still putting some dash stuff together. So that's just not ready. Now, we had to ceramic coat the headers, and so they've been done, and now they're ready to go back on. And the only way we could get anything that would withstand this heat, take a look at just how flat they are. I mean, they are like flat, 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 flat. So they have been ceramic coated in a ultra flat black. And so with our covers in a satin, I think it's going to be a very nice combination. These are now here. And now we're ready to put our exhaust on. So the moving pieces right now are Colin is fixing up the taillights so that they actually work the way they're supposed to. Our new tires came in, so I'm gonna go get Mike on it, and you gotta see the wheels that they're going on. Well, in fact, come with me. What we've got here are the center caps, and Chris did a magnificent job So each center cap, they will actually screw into place. And we've got a Phantom on each one, and then we've got 3 swords. And I'm actually filling in, because those were ball milled, and I'm filling in the ball milled detent with sort of a deep reddish black paint, because I didn't want this to stand out. I wanted it to be subtle. So there's a lot of allegory and metaphor on this car. I guess it's mostly allegory. The whole idea of the car is that it's the Batmobile, in the sense that this is a car, I hope, comes to the aid of a lot of women and children and stops the abuse. And so the swords have always, to me, represented, you know, I always think of a king and queen and the swords that the knights use to defend them. And so we had a number to choose, and we chose 12 swords. And to me, 12, we've got 12 apostles. So they were in defense of humanity. So I love all the symbology on this car, but now you've got to see the wheels. And these are from Rebel Wheels in California. Chris is the owner of the company. And I gave him the requirements. And I got to tell you, I probably scared him a little bit, but we actually got to work together and design this. We drew it out. When that wheel is together, all satin black, and you can see it's a very subtle phantom and swords coming out. So I wanted to bring that back just to give you an idea. It's an asymmetric set where we've got a 17-inch wheel in the front, 18 in the back. Obviously, it's wider in the back. We fit as much tire under this car, and let me tell you, it clears by, we probably have between an 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch of clearance on the rear, and enough on the front to turn the tires. The car is going to have about 3 degrees of rake, which in my opinion is just perfect, which is, of course, we set it up for that, right? This is coming together in a magnificent way, and I'm going to go grab Mike to start mounting the tires on the wheels. So Mike, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is...
I get a choice?
No. Your mission that you will accept. So we need to get everything mounted in its directional configuration. And at the end of the day, I want to mount these wheels to the car and start getting a visual for what this car is actually going to go across the stage looking like, right? Okay. So I'm going to help you grab our tires. The tires, I wanted something kind of sexy and European. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to select tire sizes? A lot of people think selecting wheels and tires is easy. Second only to paint color on the vehicle, I would say it is the most emotional decision that ever goes into building a car. The wheels and tires, they are the tiara on, you know, a princess's head. They are the thing that sort of sets it all off. So, what do you need from me? Shall we bring over the cases of wheels?
No, I'll get them.
Okay. That's my clue to get out of here, and he's got it. I'm going to grab the center caps. I want to make sure that the center caps weren't the only thing marked left and right. You know what I mean? I want to make sure
Each
that...
of the rims should be marked left and right.
Okay, good. So you don't need the center caps, so I've got to finish doing my detail touch-ups on the Phantoms and the swords. So have you got it from here? Yep. All right, he's basically telling me to get out of his way, and I'm going to go do that. So the car's going up so that Chris can start doing the work. Ooh, you're getting the front bumpers put on?
I'm working on it.
Outstanding. How damn tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
Have you tried fitting in this vehicle yet?
It takes a little bit of work, but I sit in there.
Nobody sat in it with the top on it yet.
I was
so,
in there.
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh, you have?
I was just pumping the brakes in there.
So how much does your head clear?
It does.
It looked like he had
I got a
frame
good couple
clearance.
inches in there.
Okay. This isn't a car. This is artwork.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Look,
This
I mean,
is...
It's got full the brace on that is just insane.
See that little stub sticking out with a hose clamp on top of it? That's the return line.
Yeah.
See how it's all nice and juicy? So what I want to do is I want to pop that line out. I'm going to lose a bunch of fluid doing it.
Well, how much pressure is on the return line? So this...
Not that much. It's allowing it to create vacuum and pull air in.
Oh, okay. So we may... So it's not a pressure thing. It's a vacuum thing.
Right, because it's aerating the fluid.
Right. And then the air
Causes expansion.
comes in and causes expansion, then builds pressure.
That's right.
All right, so yeah, let's try and just replace our line.
It's not the line. I'm pretty sure it's the O-ring in this one.
Okay.
I'm going to do this one first. Hopefully we got an O-ring that fits it.
Do you want me to grab all my O-ring collections?
Yeah, grab your A-rings.
All right, so going into my bat cave, and this is where I keep all sorts of stuff, and this is O-rings. So those are O-rings. That's an O-ring collection. Another O-ring collection. That's the AC fitting swedging tool. Aha. Yeah, I've got more O-rings, more O-rings. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 collections of O-rings for Chris. This project, I made the mistake of checking how much I have written checks for so far for this car. And I've written checks so far for about $360,000. So
You're not supposed to tell people that.
I'm
How
not.
much money you spent.
Why is that?
Because they don't need to know how broke you're going to be after.
Yeah. I made the mistake of pulling the invoice today and actually checking it, and
But it is pretty.
Wait a second. I've seen other companies build cars like this, and they're at $600,000 to build this car.
Yeah,
So at whatever it is, we're like 360, 370, something like that. We're not quite done yet, but I see it in the car.
Yeah.
We have a leak in the fuel system. I heard you say something.
No, it's just because I'm up here where it was leaking.
Oh, okay. So did you get a little whiff?
Yeah, nothing's spilling on my head, so we must be all right.
Is it dry? Is the car
It
dry?
is. Yeah, there's nothing back here leaking.
Okay, good. Although it's a sexy car. Is this sexy work, or is this just a pain in the butt?
I always tell people it's kind of like being a bouncer in a club that everybody loves.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the car is magnificent.
This car's going to be really, really, really nice.
From a financial perspective, this car is a train wreck, right?
It's too nice for all of us.
Oh, right. It's too nice for any of us here. All right, so we're coming into the metal shop, and I just need a piece of scrap plate. I just need to get a mirror mounting plate because the 65 Corvettes were not offered with a passenger side mirror. I think we're gonna go with this piece right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Went into the machine. And it landed right there. So what fitting is it that won't come out?
This one, once you pull the ring out, you can't get the fitting to come out of the power unit.
So is that the fitting that's leaking?
There's an O-ring underneath of this around the neck of that fitting. And look, you can see this one's wet too.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this is straight out of the box right here, pal.
Is there any more that we have? How many of these units do we have?
I don't know. I know the 2 that I know of, I have already.
Let's go ask Audrey. Audrey. Power unit, electric brake system. Where do you keep them?
Well, this is the one we had in stock.
Was that back in the parts room? Where'd you get it from?
Audrey,
When did you give it to him?
Is this the one?
months ago.
I was gonna say, is this the one that just came off the car?
No.
Okay. Is this the
This
one
is
that
the
was
one
for
for
the
the yellow 51.
Okay. So what is the question?
We need another one.
Why, you broke 2?
Yep. We broke
Seriously?
it. Yes.
This one's wet in the same exact
Yep.
spot.
We've got
right
the
out
same
of
problem
box.
with the second one. We need to see a third one.
Is the one with the different reservoirs?
Let's talk, more walk. Let's go find it.
To find out where it is, I need to know if the one with the other reservoir will work. He's not
If
listening.
they all have the same reservoir. If you
No.
show me a box.
They all got put in the back at the moment.
At the moment, they're searching for the answer to the brake power valve assembly, and I'm going to take a minute and go get this set up to become part of a car. What'd they tell you?
So all of those systems get tested before they leave, and that's why they come with a cap on it. So they believe that fluid is just residual.
Okay, so in other words, we're going to go ahead and swap that power unit, the compressor, effectively, and we're going to see what happens.
Fingers crossed.
All right, so Chris, how long will it take you to swap that out with the new one?
It's got to be rewired too. I was trying to figure if there's a way I could just get these wires off.
Is the old one still on the car?
Yeah.
No, that's the old one, right?
No, this is the one we're going to replace it with. The worst part about it is having to rewire it, you know what I mean? Because it's all hardwired in.
now.
That sucks.
So, Mike, turn that on its side, and I want to see how much clearance we have. Okay, so what I'm getting at is up here. So we actually touched the fender. So if I look right there, we're about an 1/8 of an inch from clearing. Now let's go see how that is on the other side. Oh, crap. We're the wrong way. Huh? We're the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crap. This is bad. This is very bad. So today we dealt with the mirror, the exhaust system issues, the brake issues, which are still ongoing. And just for fun, there were a few new things that popped up on our list. So we're going to start those in the morning. Please come back.